Officer, I think I might have killed someone. My voice trembled. Was now 11 at night. Just 5 hours earlier, at 5 in the evening during dinner, I finally agreed to be Yan Zufei's girlfriend, to try dating him. I'm 27. If I didn't start a relationship soon, I was afraid I'd really become an old leftover woman in a couple of years. Some of my classmates had 2 kids within 3 years of graduation. Some were discussing marriage, and very few were still single. I was among those few. Who would have thought that right after agreeing to try dating Yan Zufei, he would try to force himself on me that very night in the car while taking me home? My clothes were torn and I was terrified. It wasn't he that I cared so much about my purity. I just couldn't accept taking things to the next level immediately after defining the relationship. I was disgusted. Looking back now, the root of that disgust was simple. I didn't love him. So when Yan Zufei tried to assault me, in my panic I grabbed something hard nearby and smashed it against his head with all my strength. Just like that, I knocked Yan Zufei unconscious. He bled so much his head, my clothes, everything stained crimson. I was horrified. Dazedly, I realized I might have killed someone. Soon, the police arrived, but I was in a daze as they took me to the hospital. Yes. Right now, I'm at the hospital, my heart in complete turmoil. I'm still a young woman. I don't want to spend the rest of my life in prison. I still want to fall in love with Si Chen. Yes, not Yan Zufei. Si Chen. The one I've always thought about, longed for, is Si Chen. If it had been Si Chen trying to force himself on me tonight, I don't think I would have resisted. I would have thrown myself at him and taken care of him right then and there. The voices of the police and doctors drifted to my ears. What happened? Seems the woman was being assaulted, fought back in desperation. Male, head injury. This woman was... I knew that voice was about to say I'd been raped by Yan Zufei. Don't speculate without cause. Suddenly, a deep male voice cut in, familiar yet distant. A voice that often appeared in my dreams. Dr. Si. Someone called out. That familiar yet unfamiliar voice continued. The victim has a scalp laceration. The wound is sizable, but no intracranial bleeding. Prepare to suture it. Yes. Another voice replied. And this lady? Leave her to me, he said again. In my haze, I looked up and met the eyes above a surgical mask, narrow, double-lidded, not particularly large, but bright and piercing. They were beautiful eyes, ones I could never forget. I froze. Si Chen. The doctor treating Yan Zufei was actually Si Chen. He's back. I never imagined I'd see Si Chen again at a time like this, when I'm such a mess. I opened my mouth, but no words came out. Everything lodged in my throat, impossible to utter. Come with me, Si Chen said, as if he didn't recognize me. His tone completely calm. I curled my lips slightly, self-mockingly. It's been 9 damn years. He probably forgot me long ago. Besides, I'm a wreck right now, clothes torn, covered in blood. It'd be weird if he did recognize me. From graduation at 18 to now at 27, a full 9 years. So many seasons have passed between us. I still followed Si Chen into an examination room. Inside, he sat down. His pristine white coat was spotless. His tall frame, lean yet well built. It's safe to say Si Chen was still graceful, elegant, and extraordinary. Then I looked at myself, clothes disheveled, my coat barely covering my slender frame, my whole being screaming one thing: complete and utter wretchedness. Maybe it's better he didn't recognize me for a reunion like this. I comforted myself while stealing glances at him. Have a seat, Si Chen said, his voice low. I sat across from him, my voice hoarse as I thanked him. Thank you, doctor. Are you injured? He asked. Maybe it was my imagination, but I thought I heard concern in his tone. It's just a doctor's compassion. Normal. Don't overthink it, I told myself firmly. No, doctor, I'm fine. Here's the situation. The police require a supplemental medical report detailing any injuries from the assault. You need to be examined, Si Chen explained calmly, his voice steady and reassuring. I'm fine, I said quickly. I hadn't actually been violated, so naturally I wasn't injured. And I absolutely would not let Si Chen examine me. Si Chen looked at me, silent for a moment. Am I correct to understand the nature of this incident can be classified as attempted rape? I jerked my head up, meeting his gaze, realizing he was watching me. His eyes were dark, bright, and held respect. But I felt embarrassed, ashamed. I pressed my lips together and said, "Yes, attempted. Rape. I wasn't actually assaulted. If the report states that, you might have to compensate him for medical expenses." Si Chen reminded me, his eyes on mine. "It might not be in your favor. Then I don't need a false report either." I suddenly felt an inexplicable surge of frustration. Was he hinting he could give me a false report if I claimed I'd been raped? I don't want any false report. I'm still a woman, clean and whole. Yan Zufei didn't succeed in violating me, but Si Chen's words felt like a violation somehow. I shot to my feet, avoiding his eyes, ready to leave. Si Chen was faster, blocking my path. "I never said I'd give you a false report. My professional ethics wouldn't allow it." I paused. He didn't. Si Chen spoke again, his voice slightly rough. "Jiang Zun, you still have that habit of only hearing half of what's said." My heart felt like it was bungee jumping, sudden weightlessness, emptiness. I can't describe the feeling. Hearing my name from his lips again left my mind blank. After 9 years, across mountains, rivers, and countless days, he said my name again. His voice was so beautiful it could almost get me pregnant. He even remembered my old habit. With nowhere to hide, I was utterly embarrassed. I forced a weak chuckle. "Hey, Si Chen, long time no see." Si Chen paused, then reached up and removed his mask, revealing his sharply defined face. He looked even more striking now, a faint smile playing on his lips. Any more warmth would seem overly eager. Any less would seem too aloof. Right now, his smile was just right. After one glance, a few seconds, I looked down and spoke rapidly. "Sorry, I was too much of a mess earlier to acknowledge you." "When did you return to the country?" "Just 3 months ago," Si Chen said. "That long already?" I almost said you didn't contact any old friends. But I changed course. "Sometime, let me treat you to a welcome back meal." Si Chen raised a handsome eyebrow slightly, a hint of a smile in his eyes. "Not even exchanging phone numbers? You're not really planning to welcome me back, are you?" I was taken aback, shaking my head, catching the fleeting amusement in his gaze. Of course I'd exchange numbers. Now that I'd found him again, I wouldn't lose contact. I reached into my bag, pulled out a business card, and handed it to him. "Here's my card. You can call or add my WeChat using the number. I should go now. We can talk more after this is settled." Si Chen took the card, glanced at it, and a smile touched his lips as he uttered 4 words. "Facing the sun." I stiffened. I didn't expect him to understand the design concept of my card. Avoiding his eyes, I chuckled quickly. "Yeah, right. Just a playful design." Suddenly, Si Chen changed the subject. "I heard from the police that man was your boyfriend." The more I didn't want to face this, the more Si Chen brought it up. After a slight hesitation, I nodded. Si Chen seemed momentarily surprised. I don't know why I felt so impulsive. The words tumbling out. "I just agreed to be his girlfriend today, to try dating. I'm getting old, you know? If I never date, my family worries I have problems." Si Chen was speechless for a second. "Not dating means you have problems. That's what my mum says. Either physical or psychological problems." I saw the corner of Si Chen's mouth twitch. Auntie is still so humorous. Even more nagging now. "Menopause, you know," I continued. "But I never expected Yan Zufei to try to force himself on me. So here we are. Sorry you have to see this." A hint of a smile appeared in Si Chen's eyes. Some physical intimacy is normal when dating. It could prove there are no physical problems. The problem is, right after agreeing, I realized I couldn't do it. I explained anxiously. Because I felt so uncomfortable all over. I just wanted to hit him. "Is it because there's someone else in your heart?" he asked with a smile, his eyes sparkling. I hesitated. Should I say it or not? Si Chen looked at me, his eyes holding a black hole-like pull. My mind went blank and I said it. "If I said the person in my heart has always been you, would you be scared?" I swear, I didn't want to confess so hastily, but I didn't know if I'd end up in jail. So before that, I had to confess. Even if I died tomorrow, I'd die without regrets after saying it. Even though the timing was completely wrong, I said it anyway. I was afraid it might be too late. I missed my chance back then. Lost 9 years. Lost contact. And never had another opportunity to speak. Just as Si Chen seemed to ponder a response, a knock sounded at the door. And then, I was left hanging. He never gave any response to my confession and went back to attending to his patient. Later, I don't even know how I left the hospital. Yan Zufei wasn't seriously injured. He woke up after the suturing, looking utterly wretched, covered in dried blood, his head and face slightly swollen. The police took our statements. Determining it was just a dispute between a couple, they suggested we settle privately. Yan Zufei was decent enough. He apologized outright, didn't ask for compensation, and was willing to settle. After we both signed the private settlement agreement, we talked briefly alone, and I immediately brought up breaking up. By then, dawn had fully broken. Yan Zufei gave a bitter smile. Jiang Zhen, there's someone else in your heart. You're so distracted. You can't accept any man other than the one in your heart. I lowered my eyes, silent. Was I that obvious? I felt so scummy in that moment. I really felt sorry for Yan Zufei. And I thought, since we've known each other so long, if I didn't get forceful once, how would you ever see my appeal as a man? But clearly I miscalculated. I pushed you too far. Hearing that, I felt even more apologetic. Yan Zufei, you're actually a very appealing person. We're just not right for each other. Yan Zufei paused, then smiled bitterly again. No love, no compromise, right? I quickly looked up. I'm sorry, Yan Zufei. I'll pay for your medical bills. But Yan Zufei just gave a desolate smile. Forget it. I'm not short on money, Jiang Zhen. I just want to say, I never intended to actually force you tonight. I just wanted to push you a little. I was speechless. You should have said that earlier. If I'd known, I wouldn't have been so scared I cracked his head open. I went home, showered, changed, and without resting went straight to work. I felt dazed the entire day. After work, I went home and collapsed into bed to catch up on sleep. Who would have thought I'd have a dream? And a steamy dream at that. The most cliché part? The subject was Si Chen. Waking up, I felt a restless itch. I just saw Si Chen, and now I'm dreaming about him. And a steamy dream? I must be in dire need of a man to enrich my life. Later I thought, if even my dreams are about him, if I don't at least try to pursue something with him, I'd feel like I'm letting down this very dream. I glanced at the clock. Only 5 a.m. I wanted to go back to sleep. But suddenly it hit me. It's been 9 years. Is he single now? What if he's married? Wouldn't all my fantasies be in vain? I couldn't sleep anymore. I picked up the phone and called my best friend, Luo Lin. When she answered, a wave of morning grumpiness hit me. Jiang Zhen, you old single lady disturbing my precious sleep at this ungodly hour. You'd better have a damn good reason, or I'll murder you. Lin, don't be mad. It's a huge deal, I coaxed with a smile. A real huge deal. Spit it out. No nonsense, or I'll still murder you. I saw Si Chen. Who? Si Chen. You're still hung up on Si Chen? Luo Lin sounded like she'd been jolted awake. I heard rustling, like she got out of bed. Her voice grew louder, probably moving to the living room. Didn't Si Chen disappear abroad years ago? I poured out the whole story to Luo Lin. After finishing, I asked her, do you think if Si Chen is married, it's too awful of me to fantasize about him like this? Then just ask directly, is he married or not? How? Go to the hospital. Didn't you honeymoon your eloquence in sales? Go to his workplace, beat around the bush, ask the nurses. You'll find out. Lin, you're so smart. I'll go right now. Girl, it's 5 a.m. It's fine. Emergency doctors don't really get off night shifts. They're busy 24/7. I am absolutely a woman of action. By 5:15 a.m., I was up doing a strategic, no makeup look. Last time we met was too wretched. Si Chen never saw the radiant flower like me. If I run into him today, I must dazzle him. I left home at 6 a.m. and sneaked into the hospital's emergency department. The makeup worked wonders. I noticed very high look-back rates, even this early in the morning. Finally, a sleepy young doctor guy glanced at me. Did a double take. his eyes lighting up, and he specifically walked over. I thought, this guy's probably smitten by my beauty and coming to chat me up. But who knew? The moment he opened his mouth, my fantasy shattered. Hey, aren't you the girl from the day before yesterday? The one the police brought? The one who cracked her boyfriend's head open? I froze, replying coldly, you've got the wrong person. It's not me. Impossible. I'm rarely wrong about faces, the young doctor said confidently. How's your boyfriend, miss? Is he okay? He's not my boyfriend. See? I knew it. You just admitted it's you. I was instantly speechless. The young doctor looked at me again. Actually, you don't need to be so guarded. Your story spread around our department. They said you were especially brave. Girls should protect themselves. Only by bravely protecting yourself can you avoid harm. I liked hearing that. Now, this young doctor seemed much more pleasant. So, I had a brainwave and decided to start with him. Thanks for the comfort. Dr. Si comforted me like that too that day. I skillfully steered the topic to Si Chen. Dr. Si? The young doctor seemed surprised, shaking his head. Our Dr. Si is polite, but pretty aloof. Other than being gentler with his girlfriend, I've never heard of him comforting a patient. You scored. He has a girlfriend. I didn't even realize how shrill my voice had become. The young doctor nodded, giving me a strange look. Someone as handsome as Dr. Si. How could he not have a girlfriend? Right. Someone as handsome as Si Chen. How could he not have a girlfriend? I felt my heart shatter into pieces on the spot. I didn't feel this heartbroken even when I was cracking Yan Zufei's head open. Look, that's Dr. Si. The young doctor suddenly pointed toward the main emergency hall opposite. I saw Si Chen's tall, straight figure in his white coat. That body belongs to someone else now. I guess I can only continue my fantasies and dreams from now on. 9 years. He has someone else. I almost had someone else myself. How can I blame Si Chen? Besides, we never had any promises between us. He didn't even know I've been thirsting after him for ages. Fine. Fate is a cruel jester. I took one last greedy look at Si Chen and turned to leave. Hey miss, why are you leaving? I waved without looking back. Too discouraged. I actually came to pursue your Dr. Si. Didn't expect he has a girlfriend. This big sister doesn't like breaking up relationships. I'm out. Huh? Really? The young doctor sounded disbelieving. Just kidding, I said, already walking far away. My heart was bleeding. I wanted to cry. My love life, a tiny spark of hope, just ignited, then immediately doused. How could I not be heartbroken? After hearing my tearful account, Luo Lin rolled her eyes. It's just Si Chen. Do you really need to sigh and mope like this? How could I not? I was utterly miserable. Old maid, you're 27. If you insist on hanging yourself on the same old tree, you might as well resign yourself to being an old maid forever. I knew Luoyne was frustrated with me. I was frustrated with myself too. But there's no help for it. It seems like anyone who gets with you besides Si Chen ends up in mortal danger. Yan Zufei is a prime example, Luoyne said, taking Yan Zufei's side. Such a handsome young guy. Who knows what kind of scar he'll have on his head now, after you cracked it open? Mentioning that made my stomach churn. If it weren't for that incident, I wouldn't have run into Si Chen again. And I wouldn't know he has a girlfriend. Now my heart feels shattered. Then just throw your heart into a meat grinder, mince it into filling, and reshape a new one, Luo Lin said. She always liked sprinkling salt on wounds. It hurt sharply, but that sharp pain had a lingering effect that could sober you up. Yeah, I'm considering that. I wiped a tear, saying, this time, I'll add some 5-spice powder to the filling. I plan to reshape a 5-spice flavored heart. Get lost, Luo Lin cursed at me. I laughed. Though still sad, being cursed at by Luo Lin in that moment brought clarity. Life still had to go on. Later, an unknown number called my phone. Seeing it was unfamiliar, I didn't answer. Luo Lin asked, whose call? Not answering. Don't know them. Probably telemarketing. I have this habit. I generally do not answer unmarked numbers unless they call twice in a row. After parting with Luo Lin and returning home, I got another call from the same number. Opening the door, I answered, my tone impatient. Hello, who is this? Perhaps my tone was too sharp. The other person seemed startled. Then I heard a light cough through the phone. Jiang Zun, it's Si Chen. Oh, I admit I was shocked. I really didn't expect his call. Oh, it's you. My tone wasn't particularly warm. Since learning he had a girlfriend, I deliberately kept my distance, not wanting to be stirred up by him. I was desperately holding back, trying not to be too enthusiastic. Si Chen seemed completely unaffected. Didn't you say you'd treat me to a welcome-back meal? How come there's been no word since? Oh, I've been busy, I said. I had said that, but now I didn't want to treat him anymore. How should I refuse? This morning, I thought I saw your back at the emergency department entrance. Maybe I was mistaken? Did you come to my workplace this morning? I froze, thinking of the young doctor's words. He has a girlfriend and is very gentle with her. My mood sank. Yes, I went to the hospital. Oh, was there something wrong? I was sick. Can't I go to the hospital when I'm sick? What was wrong? Is dysmenorrhea considered an illness? I retorted irritably. He paused. It is. So, I've had dysmenorrhea these past few days. No time, can't treat you to a meal. I finally found a reason to refuse. Another day. I have a crow's mouth. Finally, 2 weeks later, I understood what it meant to have your own words come back to haunt you. One really did get dysmenorrhea. The kind that makes you wish you were dead. Most crucially, I actually fainted from the pain at work. No one knew what happened. An ambulance took me to the hospital emergency department. When I woke up, I was on an IV drip in the emergency center. Standing beside me in his white coat was Si Chen, looking down at me. You're awake, Si Chen said. I was dazed. What happened to me? Oh, Jiang Zun, you're finally awake. Your dysmenorrhea is terrifying. You actually fainted from the pain. I thought you had some serious illness, said my colleague Xiao Li. I looked at Xiao Li. She was sitting by the bed. I looked back at Si Chen, feeling even more awkward. Xiao Li kept chattering. Luckily, this doctor is very experienced. He gave you a full examination and found you'd lost a lot of blood. That's how we knew it was dysmenorrhea. You two chat. I'll check on other patients and come back later. Si Chen gave a slight nod and left. I seemed to catch a glimpse of his face. It looked a bit flushed. As soon as he left, I asked Xiao Li. You said the doctor gave me a full examination. Was it that doctor just now? Xiao Li nodded. Yes, but don't be embarrassed. Getting your pants taken off by such a handsome doctor isn't a loss. I was speechless, rolling my eyes at the ceiling. Later, I sent Xiao Li away. She was eager to meet her boyfriend and only left after seeing I was truly fine. When Si Chen returned, he had changed out of his white coat. He wore a white shirt and black trousers, holding a bag. He placed it by the bed and said to me, Jiang Zun, you can leave after finishing the IV drip. Emergency department beds are in high demand, so we need to free them up quickly. This was the first thing he said to me upon returning. I nodded, trying hard not to look awkward. Yeah, I'll leave right after the drip. Si Chen paused, looking at me. Your period seems irregular. Does it last half a month once it comes? I wanted to say yes, but I didn't have the nerve. I stayed silent. A flicker of amusement crossed his eyes. You didn't need to use such an excuse to avoid treating me to a meal. I've already gotten my instant karma. Can you be a little kinder? I looked at him. I sighed inwardly again. Such a handsome face belongs to another woman now. Such a good figure belongs to another woman too. I'm so jealous of the woman who gets to have him. Maybe if you treated me to a meal earlier, you wouldn't have gotten this instant karma. You think I wanted this? To have someone witness the sorry state of my period? Too embarrassing. Looks like these nutrients are helping. You're much better. Si Chen smiled slightly. Your voice is even louder. I turned my head away, not wanting to talk. Suddenly Si Chen leaned closer. I was startled. He pressed a button by my bedside and said, Bed 3. 4 finished. Can remove the needle. I was dazed. He was looking at me, his eyes unusually bright. I heard him say, I happen to be off work now. I'll take you home. No need, I can manage, I naturally refused. He looked at me. Your skirt is covered in blood. Sure you can go home alone? I was dumbstruck. Why did those words have to come out of such a handsome mouth? With Si Chen's black shirt tied around my waist, conveniently covering my stained skirt, I got into his car. He specifically laid down a blue disposable surgical sheet. I thought to myself, probably a surgeon's occupational habit, always having surgical sheets in the car. On the way back, I never gave my address, yet he drove straight toward my home. I didn't speak. He didn't ask. We shared a tacit silence. Though awkward, I couldn't bring myself to be warm toward him anymore, because I shouldn't be too warm toward a man who has a girlfriend. I was afraid I'd get ideas, unable to resist potentially ruining things for them. Better to talk less. Just as I was hesitating whether to find a topic, he spoke first. You shouldn't wear skirts during your period. It's easy to catch cold. It's only May, not truly hot yet, and you're wearing a skirt with bare legs. I was stunned, turning to look at him driving. Did you take my skirt off? Did you see me? He paused, seemingly not expecting my question. Then I added, do you doctors often take off people's skirts and pants? Si Chen's brow twitched. Did your colleague say that? Don't feel awkward. I'm the one who was seen naked. I'm the one who should feel awkward. Not completely naked, he suddenly said very seriously. I was also stunned. Didn't take off your top. Why did his tone sound almost regretful about that? I turned my face away, not wanting to look at him anymore. Neither of us spoke again. When the car entered Jinyu Garden, I realized he seemed to know I lived here. I turned to him in surprise. How do you know I live here? Unexpectedly, he said, I live here too. Huh? I was dumbfounded. Such a coincidence? He gave me a meaningful look, then abruptly changed the subject. How's that guy you cracked open? Yan Zufei. I was also taken aback, shaking my head. The police haven't contacted me again. He hasn't either. I don't know. Si Chen drove into the underground garage. After packing, we got out. He handed me the black bag, saying, didn't expect the first gift I give you after reuniting would be this. I was puzzled. Opening the bag, I found it was sanitary pads. Oh my God, several large packs of sanitary pads. He actually gave me this. Only when we got into the elevator together did I realize he'd come in too. I asked, you're not saying you live in the same building as me, are you? Not that. He shook his head. I'm in the building opposite yours. Then why did you come in? You could have gone straight home. Concerned you might go into shock in the elevator, Si Chen said seriously. So, I felt it necessary to see you home. So, after seeing me home, you're worried I'll faint in my apartment and need to step inside, staying the night. I admit I said this with clear irritation. Unexpectedly, he responded naturally. If you don't have confidence in your own body's condition, I do think it's necessary to stay. I'll sleep on your couch tonight. Si Chen really stayed at my place. It wasn't that I didn't want him to leave, but my stomach started cramping again. The whole bathroom reeked of blood. I had no strength left. I sat on the toilet, clutching my stomach for a long, long time, until Si Chen knocked on the door outside, calling, Zhang Zun? Zhang Zun? I wanted to speak, but the twisting, wrenching pain in my stomach made it impossible to utter a word. Suddenly, the door banged open, kicked in. I was dumbfounded, because this time, I really was seen completely naked by Si Chen. You. I instinctively hugged myself, nearly fainting on the spot. Sorry. Si Chen saw me sitting naked on the toilet, immediately turned his head away. I thought you'd fainted again, so I barged in. I didn't want to respond, because I really couldn't speak. The pain was too intense. Si Chen paused, not hearing my voice. Still in a lot of pain? Do you need help? What help could he possibly give? Could he take the pain for me? No answer means you need help, I guess. He had already turned around, grabbed a bathrobe, walked over to me, draped it over me, and said, I already told you, you can't get cold. The colder you get, the worse the pain. Just like that, wrapped in the bathrobe. He carried me out of the bathroom. The most awkward part? This gentleman helped me put on pants and even applied a sanitary pad. I truly had no strength to speak. I just wanted to lie down. It hurt so much. I've had cramps before. When it was really bad, I'd cry silently. But I've never had pain so severe I fainted until this time. Si Chen covered me with a blanket and made me some hot soup. In my dazed state, I seemed to hear a door opening, but I didn't want to move or know who was there. I felt incredibly awkward. On his first visit, not only did he barge in, see me naked, and change my clothes, but now he was even in my bedroom. Get up and have some soup. You need to eat. He could see I didn't want to move. Do you want me to feed you? As he said this, he sat on the edge of the bed. Sure enough, since I didn't move, he really started feeding me. His movements were gentle. He even wiped my mouth. The atmosphere was ambiguous. He wasn't going home to his girlfriend. I felt embarrassed for him, feeling apologetic toward his girlfriend. After drinking some soup, I regained a little strength. Much better. Thanks. Did you make this soup? Si Chen nodded. Had someone deliver pork ribs? There are still ribs. Do you want some? Hearing there was meat, I immediately nodded. Then, feeling embarrassed about being fed, I said, I should probably get up. Don't move. I'll carry you. He pulled back the blanket and lifted me horizontally. The man's strong arms held me. In my moment of shock, I caught his pleasant scent. I was intoxicated, being carried by him. I could die without regrets now. He glanced at me and suddenly asked, Relax a bit. You're not thinking of cracking my head open too, are you? I stared, then shook my head. You're overthinking. Even if I wanted to, I don't have the strength. Dysmenorrhea is a bit troublesome. It'll get better after you get married and have children, he suddenly said. I sighed. I'm afraid I'll never get married in this lifetime. Why? Because the man I like has a girlfriend. And I don't want to settle. Also worried I might crack someone's head open again. Si Chen set me down on the sofa, looking down at me. If you don't get married, you'll never get rid of the dysmenorrhea. You mean, I need to have sexual activity? He coughed lightly. Didn't expect you to be so blunt. I pouted. Yeah, very blunt. You must have plenty of experience, right? After all, he has a girlfriend. Si Chen's expression suddenly turned odd. I'll go get the ribs for you. Shy? Fine. I didn't want to delve into his personal life anyway. When he returned, he said to me, Today is a special circumstance. You didn't eat dinner and lost a lot of blood, so it's okay to eat this late to nourish yourself. But generally, eating so late isn't good for your health. I hummed in agreement, biting into a rib fiercely. He suddenly smiled. Slow down. I won't fight you for them. Si Chen left early for work. When I woke up, I saw a note on the table. Congee is in the pot. You can have some hot when you get up. Your colleague called. My colleague called and he answered. Wouldn't that make people think I have a man hidden at home? I've always publicly declared I'm single. I immediately checked my phone. It was my boss calling to ask about my health. I quickly called back. Boss Fanji chuckled ambiguously over the phone. Jiang Zun, your boyfriend is very gentle. He already asked for leave for you. I heard about your situation. Rest well, I'll give you 2 days off. Being teased like that, I couldn't say a word. My heart felt a pang of loss. What boyfriend? Nothing of the sort. That's someone else's boyfriend. Maybe it was the hot soup and congee, but my stomach felt better, at least not as painfully. After eating, I washed my clothes, specifically ironing Si Chen's shirt, planning to return it once dry. At noon, he called to ask if I was better. Truthfully, I was deliberately creating distance. Evening. A knock sounded at the door. I went to answer, thinking it was Si Chen. To my surprise, opening the door revealed Yan Zufei. He wore a cap. In such a short time, his wound definitely hadn't healed, hence the cap. Seeing my stunned expression, Yan Zufei gave a self-deprecating smile. What? Didn't expect me to come. I shook my head, replying perfunctorily. What are you doing here? Yan Zufei gave an understanding smile. Aren't you going to invite me in? I hesitated. Seeing the cap, the wound beneath my handiwork, and the fact I never visited him after his injury, I felt guilty. Come in. Yan Zufei entered and sat on the sofa. He took off his cap. The short hair and the abrupt scar were now fully visible. It was somewhat dazzling. After a brief hesitation, I turned, opened a drawer in the entryway, and pulled out a thick envelope. Zufei, This is for your medical expenses. Please take it. I'm truly sorry for the harm I caused. Yan Zufei looked at the envelope, then at me. He reached out and pushed it back toward me. I don't need this. I came to make one last effort. To ask you, is there still a chance for us? I stiffened. My lowered eyes rose to meet his. I shook my head firmly. I'm sorry. I can't. Yan Zufei smiled, the corner of his lips bitter. Seems you still can't get past that hurdle in your heart. I want to know. Who is that man? The question weighed heavily on me. Zufei, please don't ask. You shouldn't have forced yourself on me against my will. If you truly don't want compensation, I won't insist. I just hope, from now on, we go our separate ways. No more debts between us. Not even friends. Yan Zufei retorted. I nodded, my attitude resolute. Huh. Yan Zufei laughed. Jiang Zun, you're really cruel. You're the most heartless woman I've ever met. So, stay away from me. It's better for you too. Hey, you're not just cruel to others. You're even crueler to yourself. If it's not the man in your heart, you can't even be bothered to perfunctory. I really wonder, who is that man? What magic does he have to occupy your heart and stay there for so many years? He was clearly finding it hard to accept. You should go, Yan Zufei. Yan Zufei grew somewhat annoyed. At least let me know how I died, won't you? Yan Zufei, why be so stubborn? I want to start over too, but my heart won't agree, I said softly. If my heart doesn't agree, there's absolutely nothing I can do. Yan Zufei was stunned, staring at me blankly. Just then, the door suddenly opened. Both Yan Zufei and I looked toward the entrance. Si Chen stood inside my doorway holding a key, looking at us. He said, Sorry, seems I came back at a bad time. Should I make myself scarce? Who is he? Yan Zufei glared at me, wide-eyed. I was also dumbfounded, looking at the tall man in the doorway. Si Chen was always so handsome, so compelling. He wore a casual light grey checkered shirt with uniquely designed buttons at the collar. He hadn't buttoned the top ones, revealing a long, sturdy neck with a distinct Adam's apple, extremely sexy. He held a fruit basket with fresh, juicy seasonal fruits and another bag, probably containing groceries. I didn't expect him to come. And when did he get my spare key? I didn't know how to answer Yan Zufei. It felt like a secret had been suddenly exposed. Guilty. The bigger issue was feeling wronged. Si Chen and I clearly have no relationship. Si Chen smiled. Inconvenient. Oh, no. I started to speak. Yan Zufei's voice cut off my next words. It is rather inconvenient. Si Chen paused, looked at Yan Zufei, and gave a faint smile. Then you two sit. I'll go cook in the kitchen. Won't disturb your chat. After saying that, Si Chen took the things and went into the kitchen. Yan Zufei was stunned, looking at me, hurt in his eyes. It's him, isn't it? You should go, I said quickly. Yan Zufei sneered. He's already barging in like he lives here. And you still want to lie to me about your feelings. I didn't explain. Jiang Zun, you're something else. Yan Zufei suddenly grew angry, raising his voice towards Si Chen. Buddy, I guess you don't know what kind of person Jiang Zun is, do you? She has violent tendencies and likes to play ambiguous games with men. I bet you two haven't even slept together, right? Si Chen turned around. His originally refined, handsome face was now ice cold. He looked at Yan Zufei, put down what he was holding, walked over, and said in a very cold voice, If you don't want your head cracked open again, leave. Now. Yan Zufei didn't expect Si Chen to defend me. Frankly, neither did I. Yan Zufei was taken aback, grabbed his cap and left. The room fell quiet. I slumped onto the sofa. Si Chen closed the door and walked over to me. Since you know he once tried to force himself on you, how dare you still open the door for him? Instead of answering, I asked, Why did you take my spare key and show up uninvited? You should go. I suddenly stood up, went to the balcony to retrieve the black shirt, came back, and shoved it into his hands. Thank you for yesterday and today. But I don't need anyone to take care of me. Goodbye. He looked at me, pressed his lips together, seeming to hesitate. But I didn't want to let myself keep developing feelings for a man who belonged to someone else. I immediately pushed him out. He stood at the door, looking at me. Sorry, A single man and woman alone. It's really not appropriate. You don't have a boyfriend. What's inappropriate? Si Chen retorted. I was stunned. Don't you have any self-awareness? I might not have one, but you do. I'm afraid it's inconvenient for you. So please leave quickly. With that, I closed the door, shutting him out. Later, after my period pain subsided, while venting to Luo Lin, I told her I fought desperately to harden my heart and push him out. Impressive, Luo Lin said. Seeing Si Chen and not pouncing on him like a starving wolf, still having rationality. I'm in awe, sis. Stay in awe. You'll admire me even more soon. I glanced at her. Because the man I love most has another woman. Missed connection. I plan to stay single for life. Remain an old maid until I die. Damn. For Si Chen, you'd go this far? I nodded, thinking with a bit of dark humor. Maybe when we're middle-aged, Si Chen will realize his lady isn't the right one. Get divorced midway, and perhaps I'll still have a chance. If you ask me, Si Chen isn't married yet. You still have a chance. Don't be so pessimistic. Maybe he breaks up with his girlfriend tomorrow. True to being my sister, Luo Lin shares my taste for dark humor. That's why we're such kindred spirits, such good friends. Life went on, calm as still water. A month passed in the blink of an eye, and I never saw Si Chen again. One day, my dad suddenly had a hypertensive episode and fainted. Rushed to the emergency department. My mum called me to go handle the paperwork. When I arrived, my dad was already out of danger, needing to be transferred to a general ward for observation. Seeing Dad was okay, I breathed a sigh of relief. But my mom had Si Chen's hand in a death grip, chatting away non-stop. Auntie knew you were a little cutie back then, but I never expected you'd become so dashing as an adult. Si Chen just smiled, not withdrawing his hand. I suspect my mom is actually a bit of a cougar. Holding onto a handsome guy's hand for this long, blatantly enjoying the contact. Isn't she ashamed, an older woman like her? Chen, you have no idea. All these years you were gone. My Jiang Zun talked about you every day. She even hid away to secretly look at your photos. My face burned. My own mother was airing all my dirty laundry. I'd have no face left to live after this. Mum, emergency department beds are in high demand. We need to move Dad to a regular ward quickly, I said rapidly. Yeah. What's the rush? Mum brushed it off. If there's a patient in need, your dad can just walk there. We won't delay too long. Don't think I don't know you're changing the subject. You're just embarrassed, right? Right? Don't want me mentioning your little crush in front of Chen. I was speechless. Chen glanced at me, his gaze intense. Chen, you don't have a girlfriend, do you? My mom patted Si Chen's hand, continuing her inquiry. I immediately said, Mom, Si Chen has a girlfriend. Don't talk nonsense. I was truly afraid my mom would directly suggest I become his girlfriend. Unexpectedly, Si Chen looked at me, puzzled. Where did you hear I have a girlfriend? I was taken aback, remembering the young doctor's words. Your colleague said so. Also said you're very gentle when talking to your girlfriend. Isn't that true? Si Chen stared, then said seriously, I don't have a girlfriend. Never have. I was dumbfounded. But my mom laughed, crafty as a fox. No girlfriend is wonderful. Chen, let me get your uncle settled in the general ward first. You have a good chat with my Jiang Zun. Maybe there's some misunderstanding between you two. My mom was indeed cunning. She dumped me with Si Chen and ran off with my dad. Si Chen cornered me. I couldn't leave. Couldn't move. He looked down at me. So, you were so aloof with me because you thought I had a girlfriend. I was a bit disoriented. Honestly, even now, I didn't know if his words were trustworthy. After all, 9 years stood between us. I didn't know him anymore. Maybe he was lying. Maintaining distance from men who have girlfriends is basic social courtesy, I said with righteous formality. Hey, so you plan to skip the welcome back meal too? He retorted. Dr. C, there's a patient. Suddenly, someone outside shouted for Si Chen. He immediately had to prioritize. We'll talk later. He left with those words. My heart was a mix of excitement and anger. I decided to hunt down that young doctor and ask him properly where he got his false intel. I scoured the emergency department lobby and found him. In his white coat, he was talking to a patient's family, comforting them. I had to admit, he was quite patient. After he finished, he turned and saw me. "Hey, cracker sis. What a coincidence running into you again." "Head cracker sis?" The corner of my mouth twitched. I refused this nickname. "Sorry, it's just your feet left a deep impression." "Enough. I'm not interested in that. I just want to ask you, why did you tell me Si Chen had a girlfriend that day?" "Oh, that. I found out later. It's not his girlfriend. It's his niece," the young doctor said apologetically, yet with a gossip glint. "Head cracker sis, you don't actually have designs on our Dr. C, do you?" "Dr. C really doesn't have a girlfriend?" I asked again, needing certainty. "No, that's his niece. Only 3.5 years old. Came to see him a while back. Dr. C is super gentle with her. So it was his niece. Only 3.5. All this time I was avoiding Si Chen because of this little 3-year-old meatball. No way. I need to see Si Chen. They said Si Chen's shift ended at midnight. Today he was working overtime, too busy, so he'd be there until 12. My mom stayed with him at the hospital, so I went home. I took a shower and changed into a deep V-neck dress, the kind that shows some cleavage. I thought it looked okay. I'm no flat-chested girl after all. I must see Si Chen tonight. But I felt calling him proactively might be inappropriate. So, late at night, I returned to the hospital to see my dad. Both my parents were asleep. Seeing me, my mom immediately caught on. "You didn't come back for your dad. You want to see Si Chen, right?" "Mum, how can you say that about your own daughter?" Naturally, I denied being so unfilial, my dad in the hospital, and me thinking about romance. "I know your little tail wags when you're up to something." "Don't think I don't know," my mom, the old fox, said. "Do you have Si Chen's number?" "Yes." I immediately produced it. My mom was savvy. She took out her phone and called Si Chen. "Chen, it's Zhang Zhen's mom, your auntie here." I couldn't hear what was said on the other end. "You're still at work, right?" Mom asked again. I strained my ears nearby, annoyed my mom didn't put it on speaker. Mum said, "Zhang Zhen came to see your uncle tonight and wants to stay overnight. I'm worried she'd be exhausted for work tomorrow. If I send her home alone, I'm worried about her safety on the road. Could you help me take her home?" I immediately gave a thumbs up. Mum was a genius. 10 minutes later, Si Chen appeared in the corridor outside our ward. Seeing me and Mom standing there, he greeted Mom first, then gave me a deep look. I felt that look proved my makeup and outfit tonight weren't in vain. "Auntie, I'll take Zhang Zhen home. Don't worry." "I'm not worried. I trust Chen the most," Mom said, using his childhood nickname. It gave me the creeps. Just like that, Si Chen and I left the hospital together. We didn't speak a word the entire way. At my doorstep, he watched me go inside. Feeling it was too unwilling to accept to say nothing, I ventured. You worked overtime, must be tired. Want to come in for a drink?" He raised an eyebrow. "Not appropriate, is it? Late at night, a single man and woman alone. I'm afraid it's inconvenient for you." I gritted my teeth and said, "Last time I thought you had a girlfriend, so it felt inappropriate. Now you don't have a girlfriend, we're both single. Shouldn't matter, right?" He arched his brow. "It's too late. Better not disturb." He was really going to leave. I'm worried I might faint. "What should I do?" Si Chen paused. "Oh, it's been a month. Your period is quite regular." Seeing he still wasn't coming in, I felt I was being too forward and considered giving up. He spoke up. "I promised Auntie I'd get you home safely. If you faint, I really can't explain." "All right then. I'll reluctantly take care of you." My mood instantly soared. I could feel my eyes sparkling. I poured him a glass of warm water and sat on the sofa. "It's too late. Go wash up and get some sleep. I'll go back to my place first to shower and change, then come over." With that, he skillfully retrieved my spare key from the entryway, gave it a little shake and left. I was stunned. In the end, I couldn't sleep, lying in bed too excited. I called Luo Lin again, rolling around happily on the bed, shouting excitedly, "Lin, I tell you, Si Chen doesn't have a girlfriend. I have hope again. Luo Lin's voice on the other end sounded strange. Oh, for God's sake, your calls are always so day and night. Am I disturbing you? I was confused. Is this still my best friend? She used to call me any time, day or night. Why blame me now? Perhaps sensing my confusion, she yelled over the phone. Jiang Zun, I'm married. So what if you're married? I scoffed lightly. As if others will never get married. Jiang Zun, you deserve being single all these years. You're a total blockhead, she said and hung up. I was dumbfounded for a long moment before the meaning hit me. I buried my face in the pillow, feeling like a complete fool. Serves me right for being an old leftover woman. Suddenly, the pillow was lifted away. I saw Si Chen standing by my bedside, looking down at me. I was startled. You're back? He acknowledged. I immediately sat up. Is there something? Si Chen nodded, saying with complete seriousness, your sofa is too small. If I sleep on it, I'll definitely be exhausted tomorrow morning. You're not thinking of sleeping in my bed, are you? Precisely. He nodded, eyeing my bed. Your bed isn't small. But where would I sleep? I was stunned again. Sleep together? I gaped. You're on your period. I'm not likely to do anything to you. Besides, we slept together as kids, he said, his expression still calm. I was petrified. Meeting Auntie today, she mentioned how we slept together as children. It suddenly reminded me there's really no need to be so overly cautious. Especially since you're on your period now. And as you said, neither of us has a significant other. It won't hurt anyone. I never knew Si Chen was so eloquent. He actually had me nodding along. Later, I came to my senses. Aren't you afraid I might crack your head open in my sleep? Si Chen looked at me with a deep gaze. We grew up together. Childhood sweethearts. Would you have the heart? Damn it. I blushed. Of course I wouldn't. But isn't it a bit too much for us to sleep together without any proper relationship? Does he even see me as a woman? Lights out. The man beside me was silent. Lying like this, I couldn't sleep. Si Chen. I had to call him because I wanted to confess. But he didn't speak. Are you asleep? Still no response. Seemed he was already asleep. I couldn't help but sigh. He suddenly spoke. Sleep. You're not asleep? You woke me up, he said. I was startled. Can I ask you a question? Go ahead. I decided to probe indirectly first. He didn't answer again. I thought you might work abroad permanently. Still no answer. One kept rambling to myself. Someone as handsome as you. No girls pursued you? There were, he suddenly said. My breath hitched, a twinge of jealousy. Did you fall for any? Were they pretty? Similar to you, he said. What kind of tone was that? Sounded almost disdainful. Am I that unattractive? He seemed to turn over, facing me. In the darkness, I felt like he was looking at me. My whole body stiffened with tension. Jiang Zun, I didn't plan on starting a relationship so early. My heart sank. This was his indirect way of rejecting me. I'm 27. He's 27 too. Saying he doesn't plan to date. He's telling me he doesn't plan to date me. Even without a girlfriend, he doesn't plan to date me. Oh. My voice was muffled. I see. My stomach hurts. Let's sleep. He seemed to sigh. Then I'll sleep. After that, not another word. I lay with my eyes open, staring at the dark ceiling, tears falling silently. My heart ached terribly, as if shredded, broken into pieces. It hurt, and it was sour. So, just as a tiny hope sparked, he extinguished it again. Si Chen must be heaven sent to torment me. I'll probably die because of him. Later, I had another dream. In it, it was still Si Chen. I was still craving him. Then my stomach hurt again. This dysmenorrhea was truly infuriating. In the morning, I got up quietly, ready to use the bathroom, change, and wash up. But as soon as I got up, Si Chen's lazy voice sounded. Do you always have such a heavy flow? I froze, looking at him. He was looking down at the stained bedsheet. I felt I had no dignity left, so I didn't bother hiding it. Always heavy. He frowned. That's a medical condition. It needs treatment. When I went to the hospital to see my dad, Si Chen practically dragged me to gynecology for my period issues. I'm not going. I don't want to tell a doctor something this embarrassing. You don't have to say anything. I'll explain. That's even more embarrassing. It's my period. Why should another man explain it to the doctor? He's not even anyone to me. You didn't find it embarrassing when I saw you completely naked. Why be scared of this little thing? He really had a sharp tongue. His words choked me. I almost couldn't breathe. Will you go with me willingly, or do I carry you there? Your choice, he threatened. But was I someone who feared threats? This was his hospital. He didn't want a relationship, yet carrying a woman to gynecology. If word got out, he'd be the one losing face. I wanted to see if he'd really carry me, or was just bluffing. Can't walk. If you really dare, then carry me. I was sure he was just threatening me, wouldn't actually carry me in front of everyone. But I didn't expect him to really bend down and lift me up a prince's carry. He carried me all the way to gynecology. So many people stared along the way. Yet his expression didn't change, and he wasn't even winded. How fit was this guy? I got shy. I buried my face in the crook of his neck, feeling his skin against my forehead. It seemed his body was a bit tense. I thought to myself, I'm falling for him. Such an overbearing man was exactly my type. I still had to pursue him. Keep trying. So, I wrapped my arms tightly around his neck. My face nestled against his neck, and mischievously blew a soft breath. Jiang Zun. His tone held a warning. I played dead, ignoring him. Don't play with fire. This big sister wants to play with fire. At gynecology, he took me to an older female doctor. I figured it out. Several gynecologists were male, but he brought me to an older lady's consultation room. The older lady smiled warmly. Zhao Si, this is your girlfriend, right? Si Chen didn't explain. Professor Wang, she has dysmenorrhea. Very heavy flow each time. Last month, she fainted from the pain. Got 4 fluids in the emergency department for nutrition. I sat on the stool, scrutinized by the older doctor, my face burning red. The older doctor nodded. Actually, causes of dysmenorrhea are complex. Common ones are gynecological inflammation or adenomyosis. We need a clear examination before targeted treatment. Also, absolutely avoid sexual activity and bathing during menstruation. Avoid cold water contact, washing feet in cold water, and spicy or cold foods. No sexual activity. I'm still a girl. I immediately clarified. The older doctor paused, then looked at Si Chen. I felt her look at Si Chen seemed to say, Dr. Si, you're not up to the task. Though not explicitly said, that glance filled me with perverse pleasure, and I couldn't help curving my lips. Si Chen glanced at me, then said to the doctor, After marriage, does dysmenorrhea usually improve? How to put it, the doctor said. Generally, women often experience dysmenorrhea before marriage when they're still young girls. Here's what we'll do. First, take your girlfriend for a 6-hormone panel check. After her period ends, come back for an ultrasound to rule out inflammation. Si Chen said, I asked the doctor to include a complete blood count, to check for anemia. Waiting for the results, I fully appreciated the convenience of knowing a doctor. Others might wait 1 or 2 hours for results. I only waited 15 minutes. Si Chen personally went to the lab to get the report from a colleague. Frowning at the report, a sudden unease gripped me. So, I blurted out, Si Chen, am I dying? Si Chen looked up at me, surprised. Why would you ask that? Your expression looking at the report. It's like looking at a terminal patient. Your endocrine is abnormal. You're also anemic, he told me. Oh, so I'm not dying. Are you medically illiterate? He said unkindly. Endocrine imbalance won't kill you, but worsening anemia has that potential. Later, the doctor prescribed a lot of medicine. At a young age, I became a walking medicine cabinet. My colleagues saw me taking pills daily, being supervised over the phone to take them, and thought I was knocking on death's door. A week later, Luo Lin finally remembered my middle-of-the-night call. I seem to recall you telling me before that Si Chen doesn't have a girlfriend. You only remember me now? Theft. We're newlyweds, you know. Can't always think of you. Luo Lin was that blunt. I felt a pang of envy. Fine. I know you're lovey-dovey. Don't be sour. You'll get married someday too. Luo Lin said. By the way, have you made a move? But not much effect. Then just pounce on him and have your way. Make him take responsibility. Pounce outright? I was actually a bit afraid. Have some drinks, Luo Lin suggested. My brain overheated. I immediately asked my boss for leave and went home early in the morning. I remembered Si Chen was off today. He said yesterday he'd be back around 9 a.m. Off for 2 days. So, first thing in the morning I grabbed a 6-pack of beer and, relying on memory, found the opposite building and located Si Chen's address. I vaguely remembered him pointing to the 9th floor opposite my building, saying he lived there. I stood at door 901 and rang the bell. Truthfully, I wasn't sure if it was the right unit. Just thought I'd try knocking. Soon, the door opened. A tall man wrapped in a white bathrobe, a white towel around his neck, appeared inside. My previously anxious gaze froze, my mouth slightly agape, meeting the man's equally surprised eyes. The person inside was indeed Si Chen, clearly just back from a night shift, freshly showered. His eyes were bloodshot, the result of an all-nighter on duty. He looked me up and down, saw the 6-pack of canned beer in my hand, and raised an eyebrow. Drinking this early in the morning? I nodded. He looked me over again. I figured he must think I looked good today. I wore office attire. A silk blouse with a skirt, waist-cinching design, high heels, simple, neat, sharp, both bold and charming. And he? In a bathrobe, freshly showered, clean and attractive. Come in first. There are new slippers in the shoe cabinet. Change them yourself, he said, then walked straight inside. I followed, standing at the entrance, examining the shoe cabinet. White looks very neat. Opening the cabinet, I found brand new slippers, men's style. I changed and walked in. His place seemed to be 3 bedrooms and a living room. The bedroom door was open. Inside, a large bed with white sheets and 1 pillow. My gaze lingered a moment before I quickly looked away, scanning the living room. Leather sofa. The whole room's furniture design was overly masculine and concise. No traces of a woman's presence. No drinking. Come here for warm water, he said to me from the kitchen doorway. I have to drink. How else would I muster courage to confess? He gave me a meaningful look. Skipping work early in the morning to come drink with me. You have something to say, right? I looked at him and nodded. Then say it, he said. Seeing I wasn't coming over, he brought a water cup and sat on the sofa opposite me. I saw his legs, the hair on them, and froze. Words popped into my head. So sexy. Didn't you have something to say? Why are you staring at my legs? Si Chen reminded me with a smile. Si Chen, I can't hold back anymore. I want to ask you, can we be together? As a couple? As I finished, I looked at him cautiously. He looked back at me, seeming neither surprised nor showing any special expression. I couldn't gauge his thoughts. My face just felt burning hot, the heat refusing to fade. After a long pause, I heard him say, Otherwise, what did you think I was wasting all this time with you for? Huh? I was stunned. You intended to be with me? He stood up, walked over, and scooped me up in his arms. Worked 2 straight shifts, worked overtime, wanted to find time to talk about us. You couldn't wait and spoke first. Fine. Now, accompany me to sleep for a bit. I was dumbfounded. That's a bit fast. He chuckled, placing me on his bed. His low laugh sounded by my ear. You're overthinking. Just simply sleeping. It turned out I really was overthinking. He really just held me and slept. Except I couldn't sleep. I counted his eyelashes in his arms, looked at him over and over, never getting bored. Finally, around 2 p.m., the man who'd slept over 3 hours woke up. Seeing me watching him, a hint of a smile glimmered in his eyes. You didn't sleep at all? He asked. Couldn't sleep. Worried I wouldn't be with you. I was speechless. He'd guessed right. I felt embarrassed immediately, pushing him to get up. He suddenly held me tight. Our faces were very close, noses almost touching, breath seeming to intertwine. My face felt hot, itchy. I thought, he's probably going to kiss me. Who knew, after looking at me for a long moment, he actually got up and left. I was stunned, a bit shy, a bit embarrassed. He suddenly leaned down again, close to me. I froze again, panic in my eyes, meeting his teasing gaze. And then, he kissed me. I probably understood the feeling of never getting tired of something. Though just one kiss, I was hooked. Later, Si Chen said with a smile, "A sealing the deal kiss. Like it?" I blinked, asked doubtfully, "Si Chen, do you actually like me or not? Would I waste time with you if I didn't like you?" He always answered with a rhetorical question. I actually wanted a definite affirmation. "So, you like me too? How can you be this silly? Then, when did you start liking me? You guess. Since you like me too, why did you leave for 9 years? Not come back, not contact me?" He actually threw out 2 simple words. No money. My eyes widened. Was that really the reason? If you had no money, how could you buy this apartment in Jinyu Garden? You just returned 3 months ago. He actually laughed. "I just kissed you for so long, and you still have rationality. Seems I need to try harder." With that, he kissed me again. He left me in a daze, and I forgot to ask that question. Si Chen and I were officially dating. I was happy every day. But those 9 years abroad, never contacting me, never appearing in class groups, still bothered me a little. Until we were glued together, finally crossing that line. The morning after, I saw scars on his lower abdomen. Old ones, from some years ago. I immediately touched the scar. What is this?" He grabbed my hand. "Surgical scar. Pretty obvious. Even you can tell." Though he said it in a calm and nonchalant manner, I felt there was definitely a story behind it. Until one day I met a classmate from his study abroad days. From him I learned that in Si Chen's first year abroad, due to being too outstanding, he was stabbed by a paranoid foreign teenager, almost lost his life. He was in very poor health those few years, nearly died. Later, with extremely tenacious perseverance, he trained his body to become stronger and stronger. Later still, he became an outstanding medical school graduate, worked 3 years in a foreign hospital, became one of their best doctors, and only then returned home. He told his friend, "I have to go back. If I don't, I'm afraid the girl I like won't wait and will marry someone else." Did he tell you who the girl he liked was? Isn't it you? Was it me? Back home that night, I confronted Si Chen. "Your friend said when you were abroad, you worried the girl you liked back home would marry. Who exactly were you worried would marry?" He looked at me and suddenly smiled. "Are you silly? Si Chen, can't you just tell me directly?" He nodded. You're really silly." Diagnosis confirmed. I didn't want to talk to him anymore. I sulked. But every time I saw the scar on his abdomen, I couldn't stay mad. I touched the scar. "Did it hurt?" He held my hand. "In the future, our descendants won't study abroad. They'll stay home. Won't go anywhere. Who said anything about having offspring with you? If not with me, with someone else. Wouldn't you just crack their head open?" I wanted to hit him. He pulled me close, whispering in my ear, "Jiang Zun, I'm so glad you didn't marry someone else. So I still had a chance to make you marry me. Would saying you like me kill you?" "Not like," he said. My heart clenched, my body stiffened. He said, "It's love." I instantly went soft. So, my no one but him was also his no one but me. Beautiful. The end.